how talented he is, people don't necessarily realize how brilliant this man is. One of the best minds in Apex Legends. He's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, it feels like sometimes. And if you just have a conversation with him, you'll learn. When I was prepping, you know, for my audition to be as part of the ALGS, which was a really amazing experience, I actually reached out to him as a friend and someone I had a chance to meet in Poland. Learned a lot from him, and in that conversation learned so much about the game. He thinks about it differently. His preparation is different. That was back in January, right? Imagine how much he's grown and evolved as a player, as a leader of this team since then. I always do this probably once a broadcast at this point, but it's well-deserved. Monsoon, what a story. Was homeless playing on his custom-built PC at a Taco Bell with Wi-Fi just 2-3 years ago, and now is a professional signed player living in Dallas for Complexity. Such an amazing man who is so humble, so intelligent, so wise, mature, even though he's a lunatic. And by lunatic, I mean that in the best way possible. He's hilarious. Very wise, very mature. A lot of respect for Monsoon. Meanwhile,
many end zone circles in this map for her use yet. Not yet, maybe in the future.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We, you know, of course, Horizon on our new map is obviously, those two were designed in synergy, so we'll see what happens with our newest map and if it becomes a competitive map. But for now, no more King's Canyon, all World's Edge, and guess what? All Complexity all day. 3 kills still from Monsoon. That was the first free he picked up. Oh my goodness, he's going to get tagged up quite a bit. That's why this Monsoon-Gibraltar combo is so good. Monsoon plays aggressive, puts himself in some rough spots. If he gets in a pretty bad spot, Q's right into a dome shield, heals back up, and boom, Complexity is good to go. Here comes the dropped ultimate. Looks like they're going to get a knock. 5 squads remain in this one here. We got Flashpoint, our 5th place team, currently in a good position to qualify through ALGS points. We got Complexity, who already has qualified, doing absolute work right now. It's going to be on Sola Fide. And guess what? Reptar versus Gentrifying, absolutely melting through him and getting 1 knock.
For me personally, I think Complexity's in the best position until Monsoon goes down. If Monsoon goes down, then it's not looking that great. But they have a really good position. Odd Freestyle and his team are pushing up, trying to take advantage of that knock on the left side, but they might just hold a rock in the zone. So we'll see if he can recover. He is recovering right now. He's queued back over to his team. They have a really, really good spot here.
They do.
So we'll see what happens. Top 5 squads left.
That's exactly right. And I love how they played that right there. Shiny, as the support kind of defensive player, is able to get Monsoon up. Well, Reptar just maintained aggro, maintained pressure, and did enough to keep the teams from pushing. He was by himself, and he single-handedly kept any team from pushing up. Very well played. Meanwhile, I'm liking how HPS is playing this as well. I agree with you, girl. Complexity in a very good spot to win this game. Look at this beautiful overhead map to show you. Complexity well positioned. Gentrifying to the right. This is almost like a hexagon right now, except not a hexagon because there's only 5 teams. That's a pentagon. And meanwhile, Reptar's putting absolute work in, trying to make it a, I don't know what a decagon is. What's the square? That's what it is.
Zeratrig's team is going to go down right here. 4 squads left. Complexity is just farming those kill points. They're trying to thirst everybody they see. The more teams down 1 player, the better it is for them. PK over here is going to hit for 121. Woo! Let's go.
Oh, and he almost connected for a second, of course. That would have been huge with the precision choke. Oh, Monsoon playing with fire right now. Pushes in, tries to get a cheeky shot, doesn't connect, has to back out and reset. Reptar now trading Mastiff shots, doing absolute work. And I like the decision here from Complexity. They make a decision as a team, even though Reptar wanted to stay, to back out and reset. They want to live to fight another day. Wise decision here. 3-on-3 fight, and I'm wondering, who's alive? Where's the Rat team at is my question.
The Rat team is at the bin right there. That's Kubsky.
Yeah.
Yep, Kubsky is the last person on his team. He's in the middle. They didn't want to commit for Kubsky because they didn't want to take too much damage and get third-partied. So
HPS
going back isn't that bad.
Yeah, but exactly. I think it's a wise decision. But look at this awkward situation. Tension so tight you can cut it with a rope. You can hardly believe it. Kubsky is hiding. HPS has no idea he's there. So this could be an actually decent situation if Kubsky just waits, stays hidden. Never mind. I may take that back. They maybe do know that Kubsky's there. I'm not sure if they're aware. I would assume they would have pushed him by now. Of course, our Complexity does because they get scans for days. Yeah, they have no idea. Kubsky's just trying to stay hidden. He's going to do exactly that. Finally gets spouted out. He could have actually forced them to fight and gotten 2nd place. Instead, here we go. We got a 3 versus 3 fight. Monsoon connects for an absolute brick. 120 damage. Not done yet. He queues out. Reptar, now still alive. The only person with shields left in his team. Connects for 42. Connects for 30. And that's going to be it. GG. No re. Complexity is your champion. And they do it in style. Girl, what a game, number 1. From almost dying at the very beginning over an epicenter. Monsoon clutches a 1 versus 2, maybe even a 1 versus 3 to winning the game. We could not have written.
So, oh, Complexity over here, 17 squads left. They're trying to make their way into Skyhook. What do you think?
Yeah, it'll be interesting, girl. They might make their way right into Zeratricky. It's going to be a little Bloodhound on Bloodhound action right now, as Bloodhound is going to be able to do some shots. We're on board with Mercy. He gets tagged up quite a bit. He did get some shots in before that, though, which I just mentioned. It looks like Rate's going to go down here. This is Complexity. This is when they fly. Monsoon recognizes they have one knocked. The knife is out. He wants that movement speed boost. He's going to push right in. Got a couple good shots being put in here. Complexity is just too good in 3v3 fights. The team fire was supreme, and Complexity wins the 3 versus 3.
That just shows how 1 second can really affect the game. He was 1 second away from getting cover, but he wasn't able to because Monsoon with the beams got him with the 301, and they just knew they had the advantage. They just pushed. They couldn't do anything right there. 3v2.
Just looking if they can catch any late rotators trying to make their way in.
So Solafide in the moment residing in 6th place in the leaderboard with 28 points. They've had 20 kills, so they have been picking up some serious KP, but their placements just haven't been there. They need to be getting a little bit further into the late game so they can pick up some placement points and maybe creep towards that top 3. Of course, 3 teams will be qualifying to the playoffs from this particular tournament today. Slightly different to Europe, only 2 teams are qualifying. It's going to be 3 that we need to be focusing on, and of course those other spots will be from ALGS points as boom, out of the sky, Shiny comes with a charge rifle, and unfortunately for that one player running towards him, it was the end of his life.
Yeah, he's going to be put down, and 65 damage is almost going to put another player down here. You can see Shiny is just farming damage, 63 points away from leveling up that Evo shield once more to a purple to give Complexity even more HP to engage in those 3v3 fights. And something we've been impressed with so far down in the tournament, maybe not so much in that last game, but in the first 2, Complexity showing why they are so dominant in those 3v3 fights.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them what happened in a 1 versus 2, and that was miraculous, and Monsoon is a god. But in 3v3 fights, they're just very good at pushing another team, utilizing the Gibby bubble to ensure they're not taking any damage. They don't let one player get knocked. They bait and switch absolutely phenomenally. Like, the difference that we see between them and some other teams is substantial. And I haven't heard the comms, but it looks like they do it so flawlessly. Like, they don't even need to tell one another when to bait and switch. They don't take much damage, and that's why they've been so successful.
Sentinel. Yeah, let's talk about our final 3 teams here. They're all up at the top of the leaderboards, and a real opportunity for any team that wins this to extend a lead and really establish themselves in this lobby. CLG have made their rotation, though. They're going to be inside the circle. The other 2 teams are going to have to make their way in towards them. Complexity still up on that high ground, and it looks like they're going to be trying to hold out 2 Brains, 1 Controller, but CLG, they've got lines of sight themselves.
CLG with plenty of damage they could potentially be doing here. Complexity on the other side, of course. Realistically, right now, everyone's just kind of waiting for someone else to start the fight because they want to be the last to the party. But CLG get the first down, make that 2. But are Complexity going to try and benefit from this and push in, Mark?
Yes, the good thing for CLG is the ring pull towards them here. So Complexity are going to have to make their move across. And so are 2 Brains, 1 Controller. Reptar gets the knock onto Noct here. And it looks like 2 Brains, 1 Controller will be the first team to be eliminated in this 3-team situation. Now it's Complexity versus CLG. 2 of the biggest teams in the Apex Legends Global Series who are going to duke it out.
First versus second in the tournament as well. This could be a qualification fight for CLG. If they can win this one, they can absolutely bombard their way towards the top of the leaderboards, take a significant lead off away from the chasing pack, but it's going to be one heck of a 3v3 fight. You can see it's kind of the calm before the storm at the moment, Mark. Everyone just waiting for that next circle, waiting for that push. I mean, who do you fancy? Reptar's got red armor to work with. You could argue that Complexity in the better position having the high ground, but of course, high ground isn't everything when you have to move to the next circle, which they're already residing in.
Yeah, it's not, and CLG have that circle, and they also have a beautiful setup as well, covering so many different angles that Complexity will have to push into. You can see Monsoon now trying to use that Wraith to get an angle himself to make things difficult, but as I say, they are still going to be forced into the hands of Counter Logic Gaming. The Watson Interception pylon will go down. The bombardment coming down from Complexity, though, is going to open up the opportunity for them to move across that open ground. And it's going to be madness from CLG, who drops first. Here comes the push from Complexity. They are phenomenal in 3v3 scenarios. And once again, Dan, they prove it at the end of this game.
It's just how they use the bubble, it's how they pick their fights, it's how they target the right person at the right time. Not one player dropped, they took very little damage.
In honor of my man, Daltouche. Girl, you back?
I am back. Sorry about that. One thing to note is Shiny has been using the charge rifle as much as he could. So one thing to note is that the charge rifle is really effective in these pro games.
And why is that, girl?
Because it's so good. You can do damage from all the way across the map. You're able to pick off teams and put them at disadvantages when they're fighting while not being in any danger at all.
And there you have it. Unfortunate for Solafide. Fortunate if you're a fan of TSM in 9th place. 4 points behind Solafide. Well, guess what? They've gotten more than 4 kill points this game. We'll see where that puts them. A very strong showing from TSM. In that game of King of the Hill, they end up on top, girl.
Complexity's just not allowing it. They know TSM is in here. They are going to block them from getting any further. But it looks like they're going to try and portal around. What a smart play.
This is TSM/Complexity stuff. I love the way that they're both playing this right now. TSM's playing it perfectly. Well, guess what? So is Complexity on the port, on the rotation, saying, you know what? Let's go the path less traveled as opposed to the path that clearly is traveled. Look at the amount of body bags or death boxes we see in that cave. Wow, smart decision right there from Complexity. I like the heads-up play. Those are the type of decisions that they make. Now we have Complexity a lot.
Just outside the vault. Season now are actually going to have a player knocked here, and there's going to be a push coming in as well, so Season going to have to do some answering back themselves, and they do manage to get a knock, and they should be able to pick up another one as well. Matt Pickett going to fall. The last player alive is going to be the Gibraltar. The initial shot is going to be missed. The second one's going to hit, and the third one even harder. Rakinishu taken down now, and Season will survive. Lion will be brought back to his feet, and the Watson will be back in the game.
More importantly, that is KP on the board as well, but we see Solafide going down. They were on 35 points coming into this, so they are not going to be getting into that top 3 placement, unfortunate for them. But of course, they can look towards ALGS points, they can look towards the LCQ if they're going to find themselves in playoffs. And we spoke a little bit about Rogue earlier, and I just want to... My final point on them, they are in last at the moment, but because they've already qualified for playoffs, I feel like this is probably not the Rogue that we're going to see when we do get to playoffs. We know how good they can be, we know what they're capable of, and we can just write this one off as not being their day, as you quite rightly mentioned. Whose day has it been, though? Complexity. 2 wins on the board, currently top of the leaderboard as it stands, 57 points coming into this one, and I'm sure they would love to go into playoffs with a victory here in online tournament number 4.
Well, we're going to see Complexity just outside of this vault entrance here. And it's going to be SIZ inside. Initial damage being done as well, so SIZ on the back foot here. Monsoon can't be hit here. Look at him dodging and diving inside this bubble. Zach Mays is going to be taken down, and once again, it looks like the 3v3 fight will be won by Complexity. Please remind me, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching right now, the last time you watched Complexity lose a straight 3v3 in tournament play.
Monsoon is so good that he walks past someone, can have eyes in his back of his head apparently, and still
almost,
manages to avoid. He says, oh, it's just a gimmick, he's going to miss all the shots, it doesn't really matter, he's doing a little dance in the bubble. Amazing stuff, as always, from Complexity and Monsoon. HBA
find themselves in now. 9 squads remaining as we move towards that 4th circle closing. HPS in a great spot though, overlooking all of Geyser, and Sorcerer has a Kraber in his hands, and he might be able to shape the outcome of this tournament with 1 bullet to the dome.
2 Brains, 1 Controller getting those kills. They were 7 points behind CLG, so they will now be fighting for that top 3 spot, as well as Season, of course, were only 3 points behind. 2 Brains, 1 Controller are making their way into this circle, but they've lost 1. Bowser needs to get here. He needs to help the team immediately. Nock has already done some damage. He gets the knock himself, but that is going to be the wipe. So we're going to see Season gone. They are going to be out. TSM somehow still alive here as well. How have they worked their way into this circle?
Still alive, but Reps is going to be knocked here for TSM, and it was the Kraber of Sorcerer. Snipe Down moving in now, trying to finish off some kills. Snipe Down will go down. All of the pressure now falls onto the shoulders, not for the first time here, of Imperial Howl on the Wraith for TSM. A 152 from Sorcerer. He is shaping the outcome of this tournament.
As I said, HBS, they're in 9th. They're on 34 points. They're 14 points behind 3rd place. It's still doable for them if they can pick up a 1st place spot here. Complexity still alive and kicking. Imperial Howl, the last remaining player, takes down the last rat of NRG, and we're suddenly into the top 5 here, Mark.
I have seen some crazy things from the point of view of TSM Imperial Howl. This would be the craziest. Complexity still alive. A full 3-man roster on the map. I just wonder here, does Howl have any heals to work with? Because he's not healing up at this moment, just jiggle peeking around, trying to make his way forward. There's lots of eyes on him, and I'm sure that Sorcerer knows that that is TSM Imperial Howl. He's got the Kraber in his hands, but those few shots are going to force him to back up. That's great news for Howl. That might give him the opening to move up he needs.
Yeah, he'll want to move up, but they want to move up late. You can see Complexity on that far left side at the moment. They are in a pretty dominant spot, but they still have to move forward. They need to bide their time correctly. It is quite an open area where this next circle is going to be, so Carnage is going to unfold. Bubble is going to be very important here, Mark.
So the ring is closing. 5 squads remaining. Can Complexity find themselves in a nice position? Imperial Howl eliminated by the Kraber of Sorcerer, and that leaves the door open here for Complexity to take home this tournament. Can they close out our final game?
Complexity are quite significantly ahead of everyone else, but maybe someone can come from behind and steal it at the death. At the moment, they're under so much fire here. It's HBS with the advantage, with the high ground, with the Kraber that's been doing damage to everyone in the lobby. We've seen so many headshots hit. Another one hit! 305! Boom! Wham! Bam! Thank you, ma'am! And Sorcerer doing big things with the Kraber.
Sorcerer is on fire in this game, number 6, but so are Complexity as well. They're picking up kills left, right, center, every single direction that you can possibly watch here. In Geyser, now HPS making their move, trying to clean this team up inside of the building, but surely this is set up for Complexity success.
Surely too much for HBS to do to get into that top 3, but at the moment it's all about Complexity just taking 1st place, getting that prize money, asserting their domination. They're picking up their KP, they're forcing everyone inside. People are scared right now, but Complexity, no fear in their eyes. They're just looking to try and take this W. They are just standing in the middle of the map, more than happy to take a fight with anyone right now.
So Complexity here. What better way to close out the tournament than with another win to go alongside the win in game number 1, the win in game number 4, to win in game number 6 would mean a win overall for them. 3 squads remaining and 13 seconds left. They are dead center zone. Complexity set up. They just want these people to walk into them, and they will be taking names.
Worth noting, Zeratricky was 7 points behind CLG. They are definitely in contention for getting one of those top 3 spots and securing themselves into playoffs. Circle coming in for 7 seconds, and they're all going to be moving in to Complexity's aim here.
Bubbles are going to be going down. Zeratricky going to be forced to fight here. Big shot onto the Wraith. Doesn't get the knock though. The massive shots will be exchanged, and these knocks will just create an opening here for Complexity. Reptar moving in. He's popped the dog, and he's hitting some shots as well. 2 squads remaining. Complexity are your champions. And not only that, Complexity are your champions of online tournament number 4. What a performance from this phenomenal lineup.
3 matches they've managed to win out of 6, 50% of the game.